Most people believe poverty is caused by lack of opportunity, but often it is driven by invisible behavioral patterns. These patterns are reinforced daily through culture, media, education, and financial systems. They appear normal and socially accepted, which makes them difficult to question. Over time, they quietly limit leverage, confidence, and strategic thinking. If you never challenge them, they define your financial ceiling without you realizing it. The first pattern is the status illusion, where looking successful becomes more important than becoming powerful. Society trains you to signal success before building real substance. Expensive phones, fashionable clothes, cars, and curated vacations become identity symbols instead of practical tools. Recognition feels urgent because humans crave validation. The system understands this and monetizes it effectively. Status produces immediate dopamine because social approval feels rewarding. You post something impressive and receive reactions that make you feel ahead. That emotional spike can replace deeper long-term progress in your mind. Real wealth grows slowly and often invisibly at first. It requires patience most people never develop, while the average person upgrades lifestyle quickly. The strategic individual upgrades assets first. One path finances appearance, the other builds leverage. The difference seems small initially, but compounds over time. Corporations benefit when consumers prioritize image over equity. Every unnecessary status purchase reduces future optionality. Social platforms amplify this illusion by constantly displaying curated lives. You compare your reality to someone else's highlight reel. That comparison creates pressure to spend in order to feel equal. Spending relieves insecurity briefly, but weakens long-term positioning. Validation feels immediate, while wealth feels distant. The second game is obedience conditioning, beginning in structured education systems. Children are rewarded for following instructions rather than questioning structures. Success becomes tied to compliance and approval. This mindset transfers into adulthood and professional life. Many adults wait for permission instead of building leverage. Employment systems reward output and replaceability more than loyalty. Hard work alone does not create leverage if skills remain common. If you are easily replaceable, income growth stays limited. Fear strengthens obedience because income feels tied to survival. When survival feels fragile, risk-taking feels dangerous. Leverage changes everything because alternatives create negotiation strength. Rare skills or multiple income sources shift your posture naturally. Optionality creates psychological freedom. People with options negotiate differently because they can walk away. Walking away is invisible power. Breaking obedience conditioning requires strategic rebellion, not recklessness. Develop skills that increase value beyond a single employer. Study communication and positioning intentionally. Build side income streams to reduce dependence. Each option weakens fear. The third game is the time drain game, which feels harmless. You check your phone briefly and lose an hour. Entertainment and outrage consume attention quietly. Nothing dramatic happens, so the cost feels invisible. Yet attention is the most valuable currency today. If someone controls your attention, they influence your priorities. Emotional content spreads faster than disciplined thinking. Your nervous system stays stimulated while productive depth decreases. Wealth requires deep focus. Mastery cannot develop inside constant distraction. Time fragmentation prevents sustained skill development. You consume more than you produce. Production builds leverage, while consumption builds dependency. The disciplined protect their focus aggressively. They understand attention compounds like capital. The fourth game is the comparison trap. You measure your progress against people running different races. Social media intensifies this distortion. Comparison triggers impatience and impulsive decisions. Impatience destroys consistency. Comparison creates urgency without clarity. You chase trends instead of building foundations. Repeated pivots delay compounding growth. Consistency quietly builds depth. Depth outperforms scattered effort. Strategic individuals focus on internal metrics. They measure skill growth and asset accumulation. Competing with your past self builds stable momentum. External comparison creates emotional instability. Instability weakens strategy. The fifth game is debt dependency, especially consumer debt. Monthly obligations reduce flexibility. High expenses decrease risk tolerance. You avoid bold moves because stability feels fragile. Debt strengthens obedience silently. Financial institutions monetize impatience through long-term interest. Immediate comfort feels real, while future cost feels abstract. Many accept this trade. Over time, obligations limit opportunity. Reduced opportunity limits wealth. Wealth builders minimize consumer liabilities aggressively. They separate productive debt from lifestyle debt. Productive debt builds assets. Lifestyle debt builds appearance. Margin creates freedom. The sixth game is emotional spending driven by stress and insecurity. Marketing targets emotion rather than logic. Products are sold as identity upgrades. Purchasing feels empowering temporarily. The relief fades quickly. Tracking emotional triggers reveals patterns. Many purchases follow emotional dips. Replacing impulse buying with healthier habits builds discipline. Discipline increases savings naturally. Savings increase investment capacity. The seventh game is identity limitation. If you believe wealth is not for you, behavior aligns with that belief. Identity shapes action more than logic. You may sabotage unfamiliar opportunities. Comfort zones become cages. Expanding identity requires exposure to higher standards. Study ethical wealth builders. Surround yourself with growth-focused thinkers. Perception shifts gradually. Behavior follows perception. All 7 games operate quietly. No alarm sounds when distraction steals focus. No warning appears when status replaces ownership. Gradual erosion feels normal. Normalization hides cost. Awareness disrupts the pattern. Once recognized, influence weakens. Distance creates choice. Choice creates new trajectories. Small adjustments compound. Wealth is sustained positioning, not dramatic breakthroughs. Protecting attention and reducing dependency require patience. These actions rarely bring applause. They appear boring externally. Boredom now creates freedom later. Ask uncomfortable questions about where you perform instead of build. Identify areas where approval matters more than ownership. Examine how fear shapes decisions. Notice how distraction fragments potential. Reflection reveals stagnation. Patterns created current results. New patterns create new outcomes. Repeated strategic behavior shapes destiny. Discipline compounds faster than motivation. Clarity outperforms comparison. The goal is not to look wealthy next month. The goal is to become difficult to control. Leverage and optionality create that strength. Optionality grows from skills and focus. Intentional design connects everything. When you understand these games, you stop funding systems that weaken you. You redirect energy toward ownership and depth. Transformation is gradual, but powerful. Silent construction precedes visible success. Patience strengthens position. Wealth is external accumulation and internal evolution. It requires thinking beyond inherited limits. It demands responsibility for attention and decisions. The games lose power once you see them clearly. When you stop playing small, your trajectory changes permanently.